How did a group that conquered the world, had everything one could dream of, and suddenly disappeared, leaving only memories and legends? ABBA is not just music. It's an emotion that still makes millions of people sing and dance. Whether you grew up with their hits or discovered them years later, you've surely felt the magic. But how did four friends from Sweden become a global sensation and then fade into the shadows? This is not just success. It's a perfect storm of talent, timing, and a touch of charm. The story of ABBA is not only about music, but also the incredible transformation of a small Swedish group into a global icon. It all began in the late 1960s when Björn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson met on the Swedish music scene. Björn was in the folk group Hootenanny Singers, while Benny played keyboards in Hepstars. They both dreamed of more, but they had no idea what an incredible future awaited them. Their meeting marked the beginning of something special. Björn and Benny realized their musical chemistry was perfect, and they started writing songs together. But the group wouldn't have been complete without Agnetha Faltskog and Anni-Frid Lyngstad. Frida. Agnetha, with her angelic voice, and Frida, with her elegant style, were already solo performers. No one knew that their fates would intertwine to create one of the most influential groups in music history. By 1973, Björn and Benny were already writing together, but the magic happened when Agnetha and Frida joined them. In 1974, the group won the Eurovision Song Contest with Waterloo, which became an explosion that changed everything. Their bright costumes and energetic performances made them a global sensation. After Waterloo, hits like Honey, Honey and Ring, Ring followed, but the real peak came with Dancing Queen, 1976. This song became an anthem for an entire generation, and ABBA turned into a symbol of joy and music that unites. ABBA was unique not only for their music, but also for how they made people feel. They became not just a band. They became a mood, an emotion that couldn't be ignored. Their songs, like Fernando and Take a Chance on Me, resonated with millions because ABBA spoke about love, dreams, and disappointments. Their music was universal, and that drew people in, no matter the language. But success came at a price. By the late 1970s, ABBA had become one of the most in-demand groups in the world. Their concerts sold out quickly, and in a studio, they worked tirelessly. Their drive for perfection led to new heights, but it also created tension within the group. By the 1980s, ABBA had reached incredible heights, but success began to take its toll. Pressure and personal problems started to show. Behind the scenes, ABBA was not only about music, but also emotions that became part of their songs. When they sang about love or a broken heart, it sounded sincere because that was their reality. Fame intensified their relationships, and what once united them began to divide. Agnetha and Björn, Benny and Frida were not just colleagues, but also spouses, and their love stories became part of their creative process. Fame led to personal disagreements, and with each passing year, the tension grew. Agnetha and Björn seemed like the perfect couple, but as fame grew, life became a race. Agnetha longed for home, and fame became a burden. Benny and Frida faced similar struggles. Despite this, ABBA continued to create music. The lyrics became more personal and melancholic, reflecting their real-life experiences. By the late 1970s, it became difficult for ABBA to stay together, but they kept working, pouring their pain and resilience into the music. In 1979, Agnetha and Björn announced their divorce, which shocked fans, but they continued to work together, proving that for them, art was more important than personal disagreements. In 1981, Benny and Frida also divorced. The group continued to create music, even as personal dramas became evident. Songs like The Winner Takes It All became a vivid reflection of these struggles. Despite the personal dramas, ABBA remained professionals, recording music and performing. But behind the scenes, the tension became increasingly noticeable. By the 1980s, the tension within the group became evident. Songs like One of Us sounded like a farewell. The early hits gave way to deeper and more bittersweet compositions. ABBA was a family, but their relationships were beginning to fall apart. Despite this, they continued to turn their emotions into music, and their songs became confessions, instant snapshots of their lives. In the early 1980s, ABBA tried to adapt to changes in the music industry, but personal issues complicated this process. Their music remained beautiful, but the group felt exhausted. Benny and Björn began working on musical theater, while Agnetha and Frida focused on solo projects. In 1982, the group announced a break. It wasn't a breakup, just a pause. Over time, it became clear that ABBA wouldn't return. Their departure was quiet, yet significant, and their music continued to live on. The 1980s became a strange time for ABBA. While the members focused on solo projects, their collective presence faded. Benny and Björn created the musical chess, which proved their talent in a different field. Agnetha and Anni-Frid chose separate paths. For fans, ABBA's absence was bittersweet, but their music didn't disappear. It continued to live on, experiencing a rebirth in the 1990s with the album ABBA Gold, the musical Mamma Mia, and the 2008 film cemented ABBA's place in pop culture. ABBA proved that their music is timeless, and although a reunion never happened, their magic remains with us.